We'll let you know.
Most
We'll be the next Simpsons. It's okay.
We'll see, man. Yeah, I hope
We're
so.
gonna be We're gonna be predicting stuff. I mean,
You're gonna paint your face yellow?
maybe, I mean, yeah, that could.
I don't want to
that
give you
could
too many
happen.
ideas. Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean, that's an idea now. I'll put it on the list. Okay, wait. Yeah. So. All right, everyone. Welcome to the Talk Lab podcast. Thank you for coming into this episode and clicking. If you haven't watched the previous episodes, you can go ahead and watch them. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, honestly, I don't know what you're doing. I mean, subscribe to the channel. It's great. Today, there's a reason why I'm wearing this hoodie. Nice one. Very nice. It's done by my great friend Ali the Soulful. We bring him back. How you doing, Ali?
Thank you for having me. It's truly an honor. And listen to what he said. Subscribe, like, comment, engage with the content. Talk Lab is doing an amazing job bringing really important people from all across the city in our community and talking about the topics that are important. So make sure to subscribe. And I support you, Ahmed. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank
How you doing? How's it going?
Good, man. I remember I was here not too long ago. It feels like a while ago, but it wasn't too long ago.
No, it wasn't.
No.
Just a couple of months, but
Exactly.
wow, it feels a lot.
But no, I'm doing well. I'm blessed to be alive and safe. Family's healthy during these times. I hope everybody watching this, your families are healthy. I hope your family's doing well and healthy. And we're all struggling through this together. And although we are handling it all differently, and at some points it's almost like we're alone in this process,
Literally.
but I really do hope everyone's pushing through and finding the strength to get through this time.
Man, it's a strange time to live in, seriously.
It really is. And when we first saw each other, and we first got together for that first episode, it was the same thing. Like it was just getting started.
Yeah, literally.
And it was the same concept, and now it's almost like we're tired of it. It's boring, and either we're bored of it or we're used to it, and it just doesn't mean much to us, and we're numb to it, which can be a scary thing given everything that's going on in the world right now in recent times. You know what I mean? It's like we keep hitting a new high score.
Literally, yeah. I thought by us hitting 2021, we just achieved something, and then everything's just gonna disappear easily. And
that's what they made it seem like. They made it seem like once the clock turns and we got a new year,
exactly,
everything's gonna be over. When to me, honestly, I told myself that 2021 is gonna start in February because our lockdown was for the month, right? So in February is when the real new year starts, right? But excuse me, but it is what it is, man. Like I've just got to take it day by day, and so how you have to do it.
It's actually like I hope it doesn't get ugly. You know what I mean? I hope like it cools down a little bit. It's not like the beginning of 2020. Beginning of 2020 was a bit crazy.
It was rough. A lot of deaths to very important, impactful people.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like we were on the door of like starting a World War III at the beginning of 2021, and we were like,
right?
What the?
Exactly. So yeah, you're right. I do hope it's gonna get better. I hope it doesn't get too ugly. I mean, you could argue that it already has gotten really ugly, and we're gonna get to that, I know. But yeah, man, it's a lot happening, and I know our minds can go a lot of different directions. We can lose focus and ask a lot of questions and go down this wormhole. You know when you're watching like YouTube videos and you keep watching one, then another, and you said 10 minutes on YouTube, and all of a sudden it's become 2 hours. This is basically what it can turn into. It's kind of like you keep on asking these questions. Why is this happening? How are we going to get out of this? What's this world going to come to? What's life going to be like in 2 weeks? What's life going to be like in 2 months? What's life going to be like in 2 years?
Definitely.
And you could end up asking yourself these questions and really bringing yourself down. So I really applaud everyone for being able to make it through 2020. And I pray that 2021 is nothing but blessings on blessings to all of you.
Let's hope so. I mean,
yeah, 100%.
I mean, but is it? I feel it's a great time. Like if we want to make it a great time, if we see it as like, this is a great year. Let's push through it. Let's do better. I mean, we can do it.
100%, absolutely. I mean,
definitely.
Like 2020 for me personally, on a very personal level, like I'm not comparing what I went through in comparison to anyone else's or by any means, or bringing down what other people had to go through given COVID. But it was a pretty successful year for me as an artist.
It was.
And for me as a person too, I learned a lot about myself. I was able to network in a way that I entered this year a lot more prepared, a lot more ready with a greater vision. I obviously look different, no more glasses, got the cap on, got the new style on. So I'm trying different things and I look different. So all in all, it was a success. And without that struggle, I don't think I would have ever been able to grow into what I am now. But I also don't want to take away from the people that did struggle, lose family members, get sick, experience what it was like to be in those ICUs. So as much as it is a tough time for the whole world, I'm really grateful that I've been able to stay safe and move forward.
Yeah, thank God. Thank God.
Absolutely. Seriously. And I've seen the podcast do the same thing.
It was a blessed year for me as well. Like I got
you started Talk Lab?
I started Talk Lab. I got a better position in my job as well. Like
nice.
So it was a blessed year for me. Looking at it though, like we lost the summer, we lost everything, for that COVID thing.
And we all felt lost in some way, shape, or form.
Definitely.
For me personally, like when Kobe died, as an NBA fan, when Kobe Bryant passed away, that was really impactful. Whether you knew who Kobe was at the time or not.
I wasn't an NBA fan, and I looked at, like, when I got the news, it actually hurt. Like
you hear the story, and it's like, wow, like he's one of those people that it's almost like he's a superhero, where you never think he's gonna die. He's just always gonna be there because he's done so much.
At least what we wished, like
exactly. But you know what? Like we plan, we plan, but God's the best of planners, right?
Exactly.
So I hope that I know that's not the most like. It might not be the most uplifting thing to say given these times, but I do think there's value in that, and knowing that, God's plan and God has a plan, God's got you. And as long as you continue to commit to yourself and commit to moving forward, you can't lose. Exactly.
So what have you been up to?
I've been up to a lot, man. I mean, outside of working on my wardrobe, my look, my image, I've done a lot of work on planning what this year has in store, and I don't want to speak too much into it because it's still early in the year. I don't want to foreshadow too much. Anything could happen, right? I mean, right now things are a little bit on hold with the lockdown happening, but I do have projects coming in around March, April time. I do have a big project coming in. Okay. It's gonna move forward throughout the rest of the year. Summer's gonna be a lot of fun. I don't know how much COVID will impact how the year goes, but especially the summer. But I do have a lot lined up for the summer that I'm gonna actually get you involved in as well. So we could be in talks about that.
That's gonna be great.
It's gonna be a lot of fun for sure. But yeah, man, just taking it day by day, improving myself every single day. I feel like the world is sort of taking a step back, and just acknowledging the craziness that we live in. I mean, the events that happened last night put things into a lot of perspective. And for those who don't know, I mean, the attacks on the Capitol Hill, on the United States, that were driven by the speech conducted by President Donald Trump.
That was shocking.
It was shocking. And what was your first reaction having it? Like, I'd like to ask you.
I was like, wow, what a hit to democracy.
Absolutely.
Like, literally a slap to democracy's face.
Absolutely. And it's crazy how the United States has always been the land of opportunity, the place where everyone wants to go. If you want to make it big in any career, go to the United States. There's going to be someone somewhere, someplace that
it's like the dreamland.
Exactly. And everyone's chasing that American dream. But what does that even mean anymore? And the way that society is transitioning now, with a lot more immigrants being brought into the States and into North America in general. That I was listening to a podcast today by New York Times, The Daily. And they were saying how that white majority is decreasing now. That white population of Americans that really support Trump, and even those who don't support Trump but are Caucasian, that's decreasing. And in not a long time, in a few years, America's going to be predominantly immigrant. It's going to be people of color. And I think white people realize that threat. And I think Donald Trump realizes that threat. And when you're threatened, you're willing to go as far as you can to regain your power. And that's an insecurity for those with white privilege. And I don't think it's a political issue. I genuinely think it's a social issue. It's a behavioral issue. And it's an issue that puts into perspective the minds of people and how far people are willing to go if they believe in something. And in this case, there was lies. Like, it clearly showed in the results where Joe Biden was elected president. It's clear that the fraud allegations were all false. They didn't really, there was no substance in that. There was nothing real about that. So when people buy into a philosophy, they buy in. And it could either be really beneficial. You look at people like Moses, Jesus, Muhammad, peace be upon them all. Or you look at Donald Trump. It goes both directions.
Literally the opposite.
You know what I mean? So
I mean, I took a course in privilege first year.
White privilege, like that.
Well, it wasn't specified as white privilege,
like
but it's basically society.
No way, that's cool.
That's that I never mentioned that, but it was nice. Like, but what I see right now is literally what I see happening right now is literally the opposite of every solution they gave in that course. I'm like, okay, what's gonna go on right now?
100%, 100%, and it's the fact that it was conducted and it was driven. And to those who may have different opinions, I think you just listen to his speech that he gave, that 1 hour speech that he gave before everything happened, saying that we're gonna go down Pennsylvania Avenue and we're gonna go march and we're going to go make our voices heard.
Yep.
He pushed this. He pushed for this to happen. He wanted this to happen.
Yep.
And
definitely.
when it did happen, he took a seat in his office and watched it all unfold before his eyes. And for those who don't know, as Donald Trump is watching this happen, I think an hour and a half to 2 hours later was then when he finally tweeted, "No violence, stop what's happening." Conveniently, like 2 hours later, after watching all the aftermath, after watching everything happen, and those people that protested, or not protested, no. The terrorists that attacked the Capitol.
Exactly. Let's use the right words.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Thank you. Actually, like I've seen a couple of people who used the right words. That's actually a terrorist attack.
100%.
That's a definition of terrorism.
100%.
Exactly.
And as people of color, we have to identify that. Like,
exactly.
We cannot let the media dictate the words we use. We have to see it for what it is and really understand that this is what happened. Because when we do something even smaller, like
I mean, if it was a Muslim guy trying to walk into the no gun, nothing, trying to walk in that way, yelling at the police, 100%. That's going to be a big terrorist attack. Al Qaeda and ISIS was behind it.
Right. Absolutely. All these names are going to get thrown around that people are so used to. But now that it's actual Americans, white people, that are doing this, and it was a terrorist attack, and the media is still hiding from that term. It's very few people that have actually used it. And I credit those who do use it because it's the facts and it's the reality of it. So, and seeing that happen, and people were willing to risk their lives. People got killed. 4 people got killed in that incident. And by no means do I think people deserve to die. But if you're willing to go that far for a cause that you don't even know is valid or not, but you're just so certain and you have this strong urge to regain your power, that goes to show you that if it was anyone else, if it was any type of person of color, they wouldn't have even gotten up the steps. But the fact that white people were able to get this far and do what they were able to do,
that's crazy. Like,
is just it just shows you, like, just switch up the color of the people and see what would happen. I don't care if they were Arab, brown, black, Chinese, even like if they were anything but white, this would have been a massacre.
I mean, going back to the Black Lives Matter protests, a lot of people got killed just for standing up.
100%.
Like literally, I'm just standing in the street, just protesting, saying my opinion, and then you guys are just trying to kill me.
Absolutely, right? And
just for being black or for being like any other race, then
right. Like George Floyd accidentally, or just he gave a counterfeit $20 bill that we don't even know if he did that on purpose. No,
there's no way. There's no way. By the way, like I work in a bank, and you know how much like counterfeit, especially for US dollars. That's very popular. Counterfeit
it's common,
bills.
Yeah,
it's very common. Like, and the amounts, like we have like machines that really let us
scan them, right?
Scan them, or it's not a scanner. It's more like a UV light.
Nice.
If you remember the trend that went on TikTok, dumb people were taking like a slip out of the US dollar bill. They're like, oh, the government is just spying on us. Of course they're gonna spy by a plastic thing. Okay, but that's basically what lights under the UV light, and if it's spots all over the bill, that's a counterfeit basically. So, or if it's a line, that's basically
gotcha. Yeah. So like that happens, and he gets a
so he gets killed for literally.
Right, so you can see the double standard, and we don't want to get into the politics side of it because that's obviously up to one's opinion. But just the societal impact, the social impact that this has is huge. And I think as Arabs and as people of color, whether you come from any background, but I can speak for Arabs specifically, we've seen the most oppression, I think, I don't want to say out of any other race, but we've seen a lot of oppression, and we know what oppression looks like.
Yep.
And us both
even between us, like even Arabs from other countries,
even within us, they've created a lot of like sectarianism, a lot of colonialism, a lot of separation within our own communities. But we have to look at this and finally feel a little bit relieved that finally what was done to us is being done to them. But it's different though. Yeah, it's not revenge, because what happened to us was others coming to us.
Yeah.
And then they stirred stuff up. They stirred everything up. Yeah. They did that for us. This happened within themselves. Yep. No one had to come and do this for them. No. It was literally the Americans themselves. They didn't have to bring in immigrants, or they didn't have to invade a country. No, this is literally in your own house that this is happening. Imagine that, right? You look at Arab countries in the 1970s, 1960s. Oh my Golden age. Literally. It was beautiful. Society was even more successful than North America at the time. The economy was booming.
I mean, looking back at Baghdad and how Baghdad looked like back in the days.
Go look at pictures and you see that there was a time where things were thriving, and that was taken away from us, which is a reason why all of us are here now. Yep. Like, let's be real about it. We wouldn't be here if not for the wars and everything we had been through.
Do you think I was begging? Do you think I was begging to leave my country and then come to another country and then be like,
right? Yeah, absolutely. Like, so, no. As an Arab, personally, I saw this as a wake up call, and also as almost like justice. Like, okay, like, and I think this is just the beginning too. I don't think this is the end. I think we're gonna witness a lot more things to come. I think even with Biden's transition, but it's definitely. It's almost like this thing that's been within me that I've been holding. Like, I want for this to happen. Not that I want any pain or hurt to happen to anybody, but I want the world to see something. Yeah. And I want the script to be flipped on the person that was the aggressor in the first place. Right? Exactly. And you could just see the ignorance that's happening within it. So as an Arab, I'm personally relieved of seeing this because we've been through it. Yeah. We've seen it and we've been through it, right? And it's not something that something we still struggle. We have parents that still struggle with trauma, given what they've seen.
Oh, definitely.
Right? So now we're just seeing the fall of what was once the greatest thing ever, and I think it's losing its power.
Yep. Fortunately, it was like a big example, you know.
It was. Yeah. It definitely was.
The United States, and then seriously.
Right? Exactly. Seriously. And at the same time, there was a lot of other things happening around the world too. Israel bombed Syria at the same time. I found out about that as everything else was happening. It's almost like, there's a fight going on here and a fight going on here, and everything was just sort of falling apart.
Man, Syria is just a war zone right now.
They're going through a lot as well. Exactly. So,
and it hurts me because I lived there as well. Like, I lived in Syria, Lebanon, and
I visited Syria twice myself. Definitely. Beautiful, beautiful country, beautiful people. Amazing people. We'll definitely go back to visit and to see what it's like when things are a little more safe. But yeah, like, as an artist, I don't like to bring a lot of politics and social issues. No. Like, I like to bring social issues up, but this is very political and very mainstream right now. And I usually try to follow like my own path and like talk about what I like to talk about. But this issue is just so prominent because we've been going through it so much, like countless times that where we've been pushed to limits that Americans don't even know what it's like. And now we're finally seeing it happen to the person that did it to us. It's like when someone bullies you and then you finally grow up and you're able to show that bully, like, hey, put them in their place.
Exactly.
You don't got to hurt them or do anything bad, but you just put them in their place. Teach them a little lesson. Exactly. You know what I mean? I think that's what's happening right now. And it's eye-opening.
Yeah, literally. I think, you put it in one of your songs as well. Like, I think it was,
I think it was Islands.
I think, that was, and you said like Hayati Masa'ib Kawarith.
And to translate that for those who don't understand, Hayati Masa'ib Kawarith, my life is full of tragedies and crises. Harab min kulli jawanib, like, there's war and pain and fighting everywhere I look, wherever I go. Exactly. Right? So that's what we were raised upon. That's what we saw. That's what our parents saw. Exactly. And I think us being people of color, I mean, Black people have faced their fair share of struggles, and we've seen that recently. And so have brown people, and so have any person of color has experienced this injustice. And it's interesting. It's like these are white people going up against white people, and it's funny. To see. It's funny to look at. Yeah. It's something you never thought would happen, but it's happening, and that's 2021 for you to get started.
Well, I don't want to link into The Simpsons, but I'm too afraid.
I saw tweets and I saw some Instagram posts about that. Like they predicted it, and
so it's by the way, it's 13 more days. I think when we post the episode, it's 15 more days.
Yeah.
Till January. Yeah, was 13 today's. No, sorry, my bad.
It'll be 11 more days.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Basically, yeah. Sorry, my bad.
I
made it. Yeah, I'm not doing good with math.
We're getting closer.
We're getting closer. Yeah.
Unfortunately, not farther.
Unfortunately,
yeah. You know what I mean?
So it's 11 more days till January 2021. I hope it's not that bad though.
Hopefully, we don't crawl to the finish.
No.
You know, we're on our last legs, but you know, I'm blessed to be living in a country where it's safe, and hopefully, it doesn't trickle down. Hopefully, no one feels inspired to do the same thing as what's going on. Of course, we have seen racism in our communities in Ottawa, in Canada, in Ontario, and it's something we always need to stand up for. But I think that the immigrant presence in Canada is a lot stronger than it is in the States.
I'm blessed that I'm in Canada, and then I trust a lot in people, and I trust a lot in this society, because I believe that even if racism would appear, like, let's say 90% of the society will fight it off.
Yeah, exactly. I would hope so.
And
right?
then
I
we'll
think
make a stand against it. So
exactly. And I do hope the same for my American brothers and sisters. Like, I do hope, if anyone that's American watching this, I do hope that you also realize that there's more good than the bad, but sometimes the bad stand out a lot because the good are doing what they're supposed to. And when the good do what they're supposed to, there's no way they can lose. You know what I mean? And the bad will do whatever it takes to try to demolish, destroy, break, anything like that. But as long as you stay good and you stay doing the right thing, there's no way you could lose.
Definitely.
Like we said, God got you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Right? And
let's hope this unfolds into, a better start.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So that's sort of my thoughts on what's going on in the world right now. Man. And I do encourage you to stay educated. I encourage everybody watching to stay educated.
Exactly.
Listen to the right podcast. Listen to the right news. Tune in to Talk Lab. You get all the facts.
We'll let you know. We'll be the next Simpsons. It's okay.
We'll see, man. Yeah,
we're gonna be predicting stuff. I mean,
you're gonna paint your face yellow.
Maybe. I mean, that could.
I don't want to give you too many
happen.
ideas. Yeah.
Yeah, that's. That's an idea now. I'll put it on the list. Okay, wait. Yeah. So, I bet it's been affecting you though. Like, what's 100%,
going on? 100%. It's tough to be inspired artistically.
Yeah.
When there's so much going on in the world, I know that not everyone is. I mean, I know that most of the people right now are not thinking about what Drake's about to release or what the new song that's coming out.
At least not right now. Like, at least it's gonna take
right now in the present moment. Right, it's gonna take time. And it's tough for me because I want to release, I want to share, I want to speak my truth. But I know that the right thing right now is for the world to just see everything. And I don't want to cloud that. I don't want to stop that. Kind of like what happened with Black Lives Matter.
Exactly.
I don't want to block anything from people reaching the truth and finding those facts. Like, if you're scrolling on your timeline, I want you to be able to see what's going on in the world.
Exactly.
And understand what's going on, because this is like monumental. If you don't know what's going on in the world right now, geez, get out of bed, man. Wake up.
Yeah, I don't want to be scrolling through like through Black Lives Matter and then see like Talk Lab just appears out of nowhere with their yellow logo. Be like, watch this podcast.
Sure, but I think.
But if they're not talking about the same thing, if they're not taking a stand, like they're just talking about like how to make cake. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, if we were talking about cats, then of course I'd be like, yeah, maybe it's not the time for that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But the fact that we're hitting on the topics and the fact that Talk Lab always hits on the right topics and the right subjects.
I'm humbled by this statement.
Come on, man. I've been a fan before being on this podcast, and it's truly an honor to be here. So I want people to understand that we need to talk about this, and especially as people of color, because right now it looks like the white people are at weakness.
Yep.
Because at any time, this is some life advice too. Life advice that I tell people and they question, but hear me out. Whenever there's a fight, whether it's a fist fight or it's a verbal fight, the person that gets angry first is always the one that loses. If I'm in a rap battle, if we're rap battling right now, and I say some bars, and you say one back to me, and I get insulted and I attack you, I've officially lost.
Man,
it's that moment when you've lost.
Man, you got me. Okay, so I think I said it, and then before in the previous episode that I got my black belt recently in Taekwondo. And here's the biggest lesson that I've learned, by the way. A real martial artist does not start the fight.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah.
Let them insult you. Let them, I don't know, don't throw the first fist. Like, don't do it. Okay? Just let them do it, and then you defend yourself, get out of the fight. Don't. And that's why it's like when I tell someone that I play martial arts, like, oh, you're going to kick me? You're strong? I'm like, no. Yeah. Like, I don't learn, like, I'm not learning to like go and attack people or show off to people. I'm learning for myself. Absolutely. I want to get better, and I want to feel like a stronger person. That's why I'm learning, just for me.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And that's the biggest advice that my masters told me, and my masters gave me, and I applied this to every aspect of my life.
Yeah. Like usually when you let the negative energy get to you first, you've lost. And we're seeing it right now. Like, I don't think we didn't ask anyway. We didn't tell no way people to attack Capitol Hill. No, like, we didn't address this. We didn't tell them to. It was literally within themselves, and they felt so weak that they had to try and prove their strength.
Literally, by doing this, yeah,
exactly. So I think the time that we're in right now is a time of observation, reflection, and understanding. And as people of color, I think we need to stick together more than we ever have, and to show that we're more united than these people in the United States. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's pretty divided right now, but
we really
got to stick together and support each other.
I have a lot of hopes, and
absolutely, I have faith in us. Yeah. I have faith in us. Whether you're Arab, Black, Brown, any color, I think that we've all been through that immigrant experience, being in North America and in Europe, and we all share very similar values. I think right now it's a time to be, like I said, together more than we ever have, and to stand on 2 feet, hand in hand, strong.
Yeah, definitely. Man, inspiration during these times is just weird.
We need it. We need some uplifting, right? Whether you're reading some holy books, or you're listening to motivational speeches, or anything. It's easy to get down, and be around people with positive energy. Man, be around people with positive energy. That's important. And that's a big thing.
That is important. I feel like even like when COVID started, that was one of my biggest concerns, is like, you're an artist, what I'm referring to is creativity, and anything that happens in your life will affect your creativity anyway.
100%.
Because it doesn't happen like, you just sit down and then you got a creative idea out of nowhere. No,
creativity is inspiration. Yeah.
Exactly. And then when this creativity becomes your job, that's more pressure right now. Yes, you have more time on hand, but like sometimes it takes really long. Sometimes it takes months, and sometimes it just happens in an hour. So like, it's really affected by the environments around you. And then us living during COVID and during these times, I mean, I don't know. It's been a lot. Exactly.
It's definitely been a lot to handle. And
how are you handling this, man? Seriously.
Learning about myself, taking time to reflect on myself and learn about myself, who I want to be as an artist, who I want to be as Soulful. My brand, where I want to take it. And what I need to do to be successful. I think now is the perfect time for anybody, whether you're starting a business, or you're continuing a business, or you're starting a project, continuing a project, whatever you're doing at this moment in time. It's a good time to not put it on pause, but like set it down on the table and read what you got. Read what's on the table. Read everything that you've accomplished. Read everything that you've done so far, and see where you want to move forward with. And that's what I did. I dropped the album Live from the Basement in July. I dropped some music videos. I dropped other songs. So towards the end of the year, I took a little bit of a break, and I just told myself, hey, let's just see what I've done, and what can I build off of? What can I take from? And what can I really use moving forward? So thankfully, it's been really positive. But it also has come with a lot of obstacles too. It's come with a lot of challenges.
Yep, definitely. I mean, man, Live from the Basement, that was something. That was a success, and that was a great time, like great timing that you put it on, and it really lifted up a lot of people. Like me personally, like I still listen. I rock this in the car.
Hey.
I mean, don't get me wrong. My brother loves it.
Hey.
Like every time.
I'm humbled, man. Thank you. And that's what I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be like a friend that's talking to you, telling you about a story, while you can sort of remove yourself from what's going on in this world, and not lose yourself, but just feel like you're not alone going through this.
Man, it was great. And then you dropped Chuckamaku. That was something,
right?
man.
Exactly. Yeah. So I kept on dropping those Lucy's, kind of like a deluxe style.
I love that, man.
And I want to connect with as many fans as possible. And what I got coming though is very different. Obviously, I look different than I did when Live from the Basement was coming out. So you're also going to get a different sound, a different style, and I'm really excited
getting
to
to the
showcase that.
Yeah.
I think it's. I believe it's going to be better. It's going to be a lot more of what people are listening to now. It's going to sound like a lot more stuff that we're hearing a lot more on, whether it's radio or what's popular. So, but it's still going to be soulful, and that's what I love about it. It's still going to be me, and you're going to know that it's still soulful, and that's what I'm really excited about. Like the song that I got coming up, hopefully the end of the month, that's going to be dropping. If not mid January, it's called On My Way, and it was supposed to be. It was supposed to drop it late last year, but I thought, you know what, let me take a break and let me really put this one out and put some thought into it. It's got a really sick music video. Shout out to Papa Quest for filming the music video. And it's about...
I have no idea why we still haven't got him on the podcast. Don't ask me,
Papa
man.
Quest, what are you doing, man? Get over here.
Man.
Get him on, bro.
Man. I would love to, yeah.
Yeah, he's such a talented human being, and I'm blessed to have him on my team. But yeah, On My Way is me. It's 3 verses, and I just... Each one, I talk to someone different, you know? So the first one, I'm talking to myself. The second one is talking to everyone around me, like the people that I see. And the third one is talking to like loved ones, like some of the people that are really close, like my mom and close people that know my past and know me, like know where I want to go. And so it's kind of like my way of saying goodbye to 2020 and pushing towards 2021.
Hopefully.
The key words is, I promise I'm on my way. Like, I'm on my way. We're rising. We're all on our way. You know what I mean? So we're all gonna get kicked down, but we're on our way to rise up together.
You know what I was listening to today at work? Don't Let Me Go. That nice. One, I love that one.
Thank you. It was something different. It was one of the first ones where I sort of went out of my comfort zone and switched up my voice. You know, I don't let me go. I did a little louder. And like raised my vocals, and Quest did an amazing job on the production. But yeah, that's
that was good actually. Like I loved it. It speaks to me as well. It's nice. Who are you speaking to though?
Myself, honestly. Like I've had times where I did not feel like my best self. I had times where I didn't feel like I could accept myself. And we all go through those times, those ups and downs, right? And I've never really put it into song. I've never really put it into art. And so I really wanted to capture that feeling, that emotion, and turn it into that. I think I did a decent job of capturing what I experienced. And I think those who do listen to it, it's all on all platforms. Like every song I'm talking about is going to be on all platforms, or already is. So make sure to check out the Soulful Poet, all one word, and you'll be able to find it. So just so like, you can pause the podcast right now.
Exactly. Links are in the description. Links are in the description anyway.
Links will be in
I always link them.
Right. So you can go pause this podcast, go listen, and then come back.
Make sure you come back.
Exactly. So you know exactly what I'm talking about, but make sure you do come back. But yeah, that's the direction I'm going with, is just fighting through all this and making it out. This year you're gonna get a very emotional Soulful. You're gonna get a very
that's exciting.
You're gonna get a dark Soulful. You're gonna get a Soulful that's very introspective and more than he already is. But you're also gonna get a Soulful that's catchier. You're gonna get a Soulful that is confident in his sound, plays with his voice more, is willing to experiment, and you're gonna get a Soulful that just upped his creativity. You can tell that 2020 was a great year, but 2021, I'm coming for everybody's necks. Like I'm going in. You know what I mean? So, and I say that in all humility. Like I'm being humble, but I really am going all in on this, and I'm really going full force. And the project that I got coming, which you got to stay tuned for, we'll talk off camera.
All right, let's go.
But that's the Soulful you're gonna be getting this year.
I wish at the end of this year you can cut this clip and then play it to yourself, and then you're like, here I am.
You know what? Yeah, and I can't wait to post this on Instagram and all social medias, letting people know that, like, I'm calling this from now. That 2021. If you thought 2020 was Soulful's year, 2021 is going to be 2021.
It is,
with the team that I've built and the people that I have on my team and on my side. It's a blessing. You know, people like yourself as well.
Thank you very much.
You know, having that available to me and access to me is everything, and I can't grow without you guys.
Thank God.
Which is kind of like what I wanted to get into. We mentioned that off camera. Is my claim, okay? And I'd love to get the opinions of people that listen to the Talk Lab and whatnot, and feel free to comment and engage with my thoughts. So I last year taught me a very big lesson, and it's that being an Arab artist is harder than being any other race of artist in the world. I think like if I was a white artist, or if I was a black artist, or if I was any other type of artist, but not an Arab artist,
it's different. It's more difficult.
It would be easier.
Yeah,
it would be easier to make it. It would be easier to break through and accomplish something in the industry and as a business. But because I'm Arab and I'm in hip hop too, and I'm talking hip hop specifically, I do know there are Arabs that have succeeded. You have Masari, you have Ali Gadi. You have a lot of different Arabs that have succeeded in their markets. But in hip hop,
that's
where it's originally an African American tradition, and it's become global. And we have seen a lot of Arab rappers, but they've all remained Arab rappers. You haven't just said this guy's name, for example. Like, it's to the point where you see Drake, you don't think, oh, the black rapper. No, you just think he's the rapper.
Yeah.
Right? Eminem, you don't think he's the white rapper. You just think he's the rapper.
Exactly.
He has that level of respect and prestige in the community. So my claim is that, and I've realized that being an Arab artist makes it that much more difficult because, one, I'm not going to be, not that I'm not going to be, but I've yet to see acceptance from the black community, for example, on a major scale, where it's like, okay, you're one of us. But also, I'm not a white artist, and I don't conform as a white person, and my style isn't particularly white either. So I don't have that because they don't relate to the immigrant struggle. Black people might, the black community might relate to my immigrant struggle, but they won't resonate with my image. They won't resonate with how I look. So it's really tough. And for anyone that's looking into the arts, whether you're a drawer, a painter, singer, rapper, poet, any form of artist, it's going to be more difficult for you, but that's not something to deter you. I'm just telling you in advance that there is a challenge, difficult. Which is why I wanted to come on here and just say that Arabs need to support Arabs, like just like how I'm on here.
Unfortunately, we don't see that much. Like, I mean, I know a lot of people who's been really supportive of this podcast. You being the first one. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Of course.
Like, but like I see other people who push you down. And unfortunately, like, being an Arab is different as well. Like, as you said, being an Arab artist is different from, or if you're trying to create something, being an Arab is really difficult to get accepted by first your people, second other people. Like at first, a lot of your people will put you down,
right? And that's what happened to both of us.
Exactly.
That's why
I still got messages in my DMs.
Absolutely, I get them every other day. Yeah, 100%. And I recently heard someone say that when you're trying to go big in anything that you're doing, a lot of times you need to get big outside of your community,
and then
before your community accepts you. Yeah, which is so unfortunate. And I think that being in Ottawa, being in Canada in general, and trying to strive, and thrive in any way, shape, or form in any field, you need your community support. We don't have the luxury of having a lot of people. Canada is not very populated, and there's only so many people that are actually going to vibe with you. Yeah, and it still could be a big number. Don't get me wrong, it could be a big number, but that number that's going to actually push you over the hump, that's going to be like your following. And I really, really hope that people listening to this look at the efforts that you've made, look at the efforts that Soulful has made to bring content, bring light, and shed light on the issues that we've faced, and provide a different outlet, something different. I really hope that they realize that. I hope that you guys realize that, and hope that increases your loyalty. Not to say that you're not loyal and you're not supportive. I love all the support I have, and I don't look at what I don't have. I look at what I have. I think the soul fam that I have is beautiful, and is going to continue growing, but the community's got to do more.
Exactly. Yep.
And I don't think that's coming from a place of greed. I think it's coming from a place of experience.
It favors the whole community, by the way. Like having artists as yourself, it favors the whole community because, look how many let's say videographers and photographers you're going to collaborate with. Let's see how many people you're going to go like ahead, and then like let's say models you have the Soulful brand. I mean, like how many models are you going to hire from the community? It's a lot. Like if they're supporting you, you're gonna support them back.
It's gonna make everyone's journey easier. The reason that it's easier for a black artist to succeed in the artist field is because there's been artists before who paved the way.
Of course, yeah.
You know what I mean? The reason it's easier for white artists because there's white artists that have paved the way. And you could say that for most other genres, but if you're of brown descent, you're Arab, brown. I'll put those two together. Like I consider Arabs generally brown.
Definitely.
Of the brown community. There's no blueprint. There's no real person that you can look to and be like, yo, they did it. They built something. And a lot of times I feel like I got to be the first in my community, at least. And it takes a lot of sacrifice. It takes a lot. But I do respect that, and I do acknowledge that there are other artists that are doing the same thing that I'm doing, and they're doing it extremely well. And I show love to every single one of you.
Exactly.
Whether it's like a podcast like Talk Lab, or whether it's like I got some friends in Chicago, like Our Inner Muse, Jay and Z doing an incredible job on their podcast. Two Arab females breaking boundaries and talk about issues we need to talk about.
Definitely. Well, that's more difficult than us. Like that's especially being Arab women. That's something else, man. And I have acknowledged that a lot. Like I mean, even sometimes here at work, you can see how people react to women in comparison when they react to men. Like females are their life is more difficult than ours.
Absolutely.
I mean, 100%. And then in the Arab community, you multiply that by like 10 or 20. You know what I mean? Like it's really difficult for them to speak to a microphone and like get people's acceptance. It's really difficult.
Absolutely. And shout out to other artists like Wahib Nassan, who's doing an incredible job in Chicago. There's so many. I named those two only because they come off the top of my head, and I've had personal relationships with them. Like I know them on a friend level, and we're really cool. But I discover new Arab artists every day, and I question why they're not bigger. I question why they haven't blown up and haven't received the support. But in our communities, you know how it goes. You're either a doctor, lawyer, surgeon, or you're a disgrace. You can only pick one of those four options, right?
Exactly.
So there's a lot of people that have creative ability. And if I can just inspire our community to feel as though they have the right to be creative and are able to be creative and take their ideas and turn them into something real. If I could do that's a big goal of mine. And with my Soul Fam,
that would be amazing.
And my fan base and my support system that I got, I know we can do that. I know we're breaking those barriers one step at a time. And having your support means the world. So make sure to tell a friend to join the Soul Fam too. And let's keep building this. Let's keep building this following,
Let's see. Yep. That would be great. Seriously. Like, I want to see that because I believe in that as well. Like, I think we spoke about it. You remember when our first video? Like, even like way before, looking back, the first video that's on your channel and how difficult that was to make. And like, man, wow. Like, who would have thought, you know what I mean? Like, that's really great.
This is what it turns into and the connections we've made and it's all independent. Like I'm not signed to a label. I don't have for all this time so far. I didn't have a manager. No. Like I managed myself. I mixed my own songs. I mastered my own songs. I wrote my own songs. I performed myself. Like a lot of times I didn't have a DJ. Like my phone would play the beats that I would have to perform to. I didn't have a DJ set up. I didn't really have an idea of props and what to bring. Nope. But now with everything coming together, it's all really.
And I remember your words. Like I remember your words from that day. You told me like you gotta start somewhere. Like you gotta put the first step first, and then you go from there. You try to fix your problems. You go bigger. So I hope by doing this we're paving this road for other people to come in and then continue what 100%. We're starting. Yeah.
And back to your what you said about taking steps. I'm gonna look right into the camera and I'm gonna tell all you guys, right? The next step that you take, the most important step that you take, I'm gonna say that again. The most important step that you take is always gonna be the next step. So don't be afraid to take the next step. I'm looking right at you. You better be listening. The most important step you take has to be the next step, and make it the next step. And that's sort of what I live by. That's sort of what I go by. Every next step, every step I take, I make sure that I put my all into it and I've thought through it and it's all calculated. And that's what the most successful people have done.
It is actually like I was talking to a couple of friends and I was throwing names, that I want to get to, and they're like, "Well, you gotta be crazy or like something." I'm like, "Yeah, you watch." I mean, I'm not throwing these names in this podcast because you never know. But like, as if you don't look that far, you're not gonna get that far.
100%.
So basically,
100%.
Aim for it.
Absolutely.
Go after those people.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And if it's a struggle. And if it's struggle, I'm always open to like sharing my ideas. And I do have a lot of
And that's what I was trying. That's what we were gonna get to.
We were gonna get to that exactly, and I think it's a good time to really dive into it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say I have a lot of experience, but I think I have, from what I've gathered, and I may not have a lot of personal experience, but I ask a lot of questions, and that's probably my first tip. If anything you're trying to start, questions. Whether it's a business or if you're trying to bring, maybe not like a tangible product, like I may not sell you like an Apple, for example, but if I sold you a performance, and I made you feel really really good about yourself, inspired, you got to understand that that's just as valuable.
That's one of the difficulties. That's one of the difficulties that's basically for especially for Arabs.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so if it's not touchable, like Arabs are not gonna buy it. It's worthless for them, basically. Most of them. Let's say I don't want to get hate a lot, but
no, of course.
I mean, look at
a large majority of the community is still very much. If it's not tangible and I can't see it, I can't have it, I can't grab it, it's not worth anything to me, right? But I think the first step in starting something is believing that it has worth, it has value. You have value as a person. I remember we had talks too. You asked me like, how do you reject people for gigs? How do you ask for money? Exactly. All that stuff. I struggled with that. My first year of being the Soulful Poet in 2019, like really pushing for this, was a lot of free shows because I didn't know how to ask. I'd even offer to do it for free, just to have the opportunity. And I encourage you to do that, but also understand that you have value. And
but don't stick to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Understand that it's a growth process, and everything you do, you don't start school and university. You start school in grade 1.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You keep leveling up until you get to where you're at. And a lot of times doing something like this, being a podcaster, being an artist, it's harder than being a doctor or a lawyer.
Yeah, it's really hard, by the way. Like, you're trying to sell something to them they're really not used to.
Yeah.
And they don't see any value in, but it's just there for them. They feel like this is a free content. This is I struggled with this for like about 10 years doing photography.
Yeah.
And the problem is I didn't know how to say no.
Yeah.
That's really not a good use of my time, not a good use of my equipment. I pay for my software. Like a lot of stuff you do, they're expecting you to give it for free, and it's like I didn't know how to say no.
Yeah.
Well, thanks to a couple of friends who taught me a lot about this, and I was like, well, my latest, I refused a couple of offers like recently. It was a month ago actually, and they were expecting it. It was for a community as well, and I was like, well, you guys are not paying, so I can't. Like, you guys are asking about for me to come for 10 days, shoot this thing, and then just leave without paying me anything. Like, that's not fair. I don't think
exactly. And if you're a student of the game and you're learning, sure, do something like that. But also know that you have value, and what you're bringing forth to the table is value. And don't let people walk all over you. Exactly. You deserve something for your efforts, and it's just like any other teaching. It's just like any other schooling or education. You put time into this on your own. A lot of people are self-taught. I'm a self-taught artist. I taught myself how to engineer my music. I taught myself how to write spoken word and poetry and rap and R&B.
Time and effort.
Time and a half, man. Yeah. Like, you work 9 to 5. This is your 5 to 9.
Literally.
Right. So that's step one. Is know that what you have has value. Even though people might not recognize it at first, know that
they will eventually.
People will, exactly.
Yeah.
The second thing I would tell people is that target a great year, but don't let that great year make you think it's a great career. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of wrapping out here.
Okay.
But focus on having a great year every year, but don't let one great year make you think that you've had a great career. Don't stop at that. Your goal is to transcend generations, right? Your goal in anything, in my opinion, I go all in. My goal is to transcend generations. I want 100 years from now, people are like, maybe not 100 years, 50 years, let's say, because people's memories these days are nothing. 50 years from now, people to say, oh, remember the Soulful Poet's music? Remember Soulful? Like, remember everything he did? And just like how Michael Jackson, for example, even Elton John or John Lennon or the Beatles, all these people, they made such a big impact because they transcended a generation. They had good years, but they didn't like hang on those years. No. Every year they tried to level up. Every year they tried to improve. And so many times we see artists, businesses. Look at, for example, Lil Pump. Yeah. Like he popped off, and I think his fame lasted a year and a half. No one talks about him anymore.
No.
I apologize if you're a fan of him. Maybe you guys like him, But
I mean, he's still big, but like not as big as that as in that
be,
year. You know what I
right?
mean?
Exactly. He's never gonna gain the same respect. He's never gonna have the respect. He's
No.
never gonna sell as much as he did. Of course, fame can do a lot of things for you. It opens a lot of doors. But impact wise, it's not gonna have any effect. The impact's done. And that perfectly goes with my third goal is make sure that you're targeting impact. You're targeting value. Understanding that what you do has value, and then targeting like transcending. Know that your value goes beyond 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Target that, and thirdly, make sure that value and impact go first. Always, always. That before anything else, before money, before inspiration, before motivation, the impact that you're making is what will last forever. The money won't last, the fame won't last, the recognition won't last, but the impact that you make is so important, because we need it, especially in times like this. And as people of color, we need to rise up, and whatever way it is, whether you're picking up a paintbrush or you're picking up a pen or you're picking up like a lab coat or you're picking up your chef hat, doesn't matter what it is, whatever you're doing to express yourself, please express yourself and excel, because we need you at this time to show that we can thrive. You know, we don't need to be underneath the powers of someone else.
No.
To succeed.
No, definitely. I mean, like, according to what you said as well, like, even like, okay, even if we say that, like, back in the days, people used to use horses. Like, if they thought, okay, that's it, this is the best transportation.
Yeah, get better than this.
Yeah, like, I want to stay there. I want to be riding a horse. That's it. We wouldn't have cars. We wouldn't have planes. We wouldn't have anything. Like,
exactly,
you know?
exactly. So, and I do say those top three. I know no specific order. This is the order that it came to me in conversation. Like, you like putting impact and value first is the most important thing. Second thing, you could say that understanding that what it is has value and you should get return for that value.
Definitely,
there has to be return on your investment. And then last thing, of course, as I said, was
look up, take the next step. Always always
take the next step. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, you're fair.
Yeah,
don't let
1 year be what you hang your hat on.
Yeah,
thrive for a good year, but you want a great career. There's more than just a year. Keep checking out those boxes, and always think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 steps ahead. You know, moving forward, and that's how you're gonna succeed.
If you allow me, I can add another step.
Go for it.
Thank you. So, always understand that you will go down one time, but always get back up. Get back up. Seriously.
I think we can speak to that on a personal level, man. Like we push ourselves as artists, and we think these people are supporting us, and all of a sudden they turn their backs on us, or you realize that they're not really supporting you. They're just walking on top of you. And they never really supported you for you. No. They supported you for the service that you provided.
Literally.
You know what I mean? It was all just words at the end of the day, and then you fall because you're like, okay, like I thought this was what I was gonna do, and then you end up rethinking your direction.
Exactly. Don't put your hopes in one person. Don't really look for a good friend. Look for those who will support you. And if you actually do a mistake, they're gonna bring it up to your face. Like, don't let those who really want to bring you down, those who smile to your face and like stab you in the back, take over your life choices basically, and your 100%. Career choices, because that will hurt you badly.
100%.
I mean, talking from experience as well. Like, 100%. A lot of people.
Any time that you grow in something, it's always important to see, to understand that you have something that other people don't have and other people want.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
I get a lot of artists that hit me up. They're like, yo, can you check out my poem? Can you check out my song? Can you check out this? I never deny it. Like, I'm always about it. But then when I'm asked to, for example, feature on a song with them or share their stuff, to me, it's something you earn.
Exactly.
You know, if Drake shares my stuff, it's probably not because I asked him.
No.
And I'm not the type to ask. I'm the type to just earn what I do. And I promise that I'm watching. I promise I see your success. If not, if I wasn't, then I wouldn't even respond to the message. You know what I mean? And a lot of people try to leech off of you, take from what you have, and just use your tools to their advantage. So making sure you're still true to yourself, you're honest with yourself, and like I said, you know your value, and you're not going to let anybody walk all over you.
Exactly. I mean, a good story, and I think those two posts are in the bottom of our Instagram page, but you guys can go check them. I remember we had in mind, we had a release date, by the way, and we were gonna start shooting the episodes, and what happened in Lebanon happened, the big
That's right.
explosion, and that hurt me badly. Like we had to delay like a week or so for my mental wellness, actually, like 'cause I locked myself in my room. I wasn't speaking to anyone. My family were worried for me. What is this guy doing? Like I barely ate anything during like for at least like 3 days. All I was doing, I was just looking at my phone, trying to reach all of my friends that are in Lebanon, and I wish they weren't in Beirut, because I know they go there. It did hurt me. Like every time I look back, I want to cry, like badly. I lived there for years, and my soul, like literally, I would say my soul is Lebanese, literally. So when that happened, that hurt. That hurts, man. Yeah. Like so.
And that's just one of the many things that 2020 brought to us, and I think it's impacted us all. You know what I mean? Whether it's directly or indirectly, we've all felt our emotions played with. We've all felt, sad, and don't worry, because you're gonna get a sad Soulful too, so it's gonna fit perfectly with the vibes. You know what I mean? But no. In all honesty, I commend you for coming out of it strongly. I commend everybody for coming out of it strongly. It's kind of like we came back full circle.
Exactly.
I like that. And man, it's I'm excited for this year. I'm optimistic, of course. I want to stay positive, and I can't wait for you guys to see what I got coming. I can't wait for you guys to see what Talk Lab's got coming, and I'm excited.
Let's kick 2020's year's ass.
Hopefully, man. Hopefully. I mean, 2021 doesn't have to do much to be better than 2020.
No.
But it's not gotten off to the best start. Yep. You know what I mean? I saw a funny message, actually. We'd probably end off with this, but there was a friend saying, like, I want to cancel 2021, like my 7-day free trial. I don't want to. Please, I want to cancel my subscription to the year. Given what's going on.
Man, seriously, wow.
But this time we got to stand together. Last year we were blindsided by a lot of things, and this is the year that, hey, hit us now. We're ready.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? We've been through a lot.
Exactly.
No, you're not gonna knock us down again.
I'm gonna tell my kids these stories. I'm gonna have so much stories for my kids, my grandkids, and like seriously, I'll be telling them like, well, we've been studying when it was a whole pandemic thing. Why can't you do your homework?
Exactly.
I'll be kicking their asses now.
Exactly. Kind of like the saying, like, I had to walk 25 miles to school.
Now it makes sense to me, right? I
had to stay at home. And not go outside.
Right now it all makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man.
But man, and it's important to open up. It's important to share these things, and having a platform like Talk Lab and having friends that you can share this stuff with is super important. And my way is through music, and through this upcoming project, I'm going to be talking about my struggle in relationships, my struggle in my family life, my struggle in my personal life.
Can't wait to see that.
It's going to be a lot of struggle, and it's going to be my story that I think you're going to be able to relate to, and a lot of people are going to be able to relate to. And I really want to give away a lot, but I can't. Stay tuned, and I'm sure
you'll be inspired.
Talk Lab and I will be back together very soon. Once that album drops, or at some point when things clear up a little bit, to talk about what I did.
Hopefully, Hopefully, man. Well, thank you for coming here.
Thank you for having me, man. It was truly a pleasure. Thank you all for joining in. It's Soulful. You can check out The Soulful Poet. TheSoulfulPoet.com is my website. Check it out on Google. It's The Soulful Poet, The Soulful Poet, all one word. And make sure to check it out. I got a lot coming up in this year. So join the Soul Fam. Join the newsletter. You can check that on my Instagram. And Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. Wherever you get your music and wherever you get your content.
I'm there. Yep. Thank you very much for watching the episode till the end. I mean, you guys are great. Thank you. The Soulful Poets social media and links will be in the description, as always. And don't forget to subscribe. I mean, like, I don't know what you did. Y'all thought I was just joking when I said subscribe to the freaking channel. Subscribe. Like,
this has been a banger podcast.
Yeah.
I think this has been a dope podcast.
Yeah.
For me, not for him. Yeah, do it for me. Subscribe to him.
Definitely, yeah.
You know what I mean? Make me happy.
If you love the Soulful Poet, subscribe and hit a like button. I mean, tell us why you like the Soulful Poet. I mean, tell us what's your favorite song that Soulful has done.
Absolutely.
I mean, that'll be great. I'll be reading every comment. So
100%, exactly.
That'd be great. So yeah, subscribe to the Talk Lab. Check out our social medias. Check out the Talk Lab now. It's on Spotify and other Audible platforms.
Big things. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going big. So yeah, thank you for watching and have a good day.
Soulful.